Okay. It is well known that social media companies take users' private information in an effort to better their targeted advertising strategies. However, the extent of the information taken from users without their knowledge is not known. Hi, my name is Sofia Cruz, and the question is, to what extent should social media companies be allowed to take users' private information for targeted advertising? The graphic shows that in July of this year, the total number of social media use around the world is 3.96 billion, and that the annual growth has grown to be about 10.5% or 376 million. Companies use social media to track user activity. However, there can be a lot of confusion about what social media companies actually do with the user's private information that can lead to many privacy issues. Users can also be unaware of who their information is shared with. User information is sold to publishers and advertisers that use a specific kind of advertising called behavioral advertising. Behavioral advertising works by taking a user's activity, likes and dislikes, and more to properly appeal specific advertisements to them. This allows for a greater efficiency in the method of targeted advertising and economically benefits advertisers. Advertisers are paid extra when they run targeted ads for a specific audience rather than a larger group. Rather than simply promoting a basic advertisement to a general audience, it is more beneficial to the advertiser to promote an advertisement that targets a smaller group of people with common likes and tastes. Behavioral targeting outperforms traditional advertising, so it is more beneficial when advertisers are competing for a comparable space and the number of advertisers are large. Social media gives companies easy access to users' private information, leading to more difficulty for users who may be unable to protect their information. As seen on the graphic, 91% of users feel they have lost control over their data privacy. 36% of users feel they don't have a choice in how apps can use their data. And 54% of Americans worry about their online privacy and data security. The information they worry about actually goes to third-party sources. Users' private information is thought to be exclusively shared between the company and the user. But what most users don't know is that the information is also shared among third parties. The biggest problem with third-party sharing is that once users' information is in the hands of these third parties, the US law provides consumers with few protections. Users are also not explicitly told who these third parties are by companies. They have a very loose control over what and how their information is shared among these third parties and social media companies. The graphic shows that apps like Instagram use these third-party partners for targeted advertising. A way to solve the confusion surrounding third-party sharing and to fix issues would be to implement a system of privacy practices targeted towards adolescents. The picture on the right shows that children ranging from ages 2 to 10 spend on average 18.6 hours of their day on screen-based play. Educating adolescents about the responsibility that comes with having social media accounts will be effective in teaching children at an early age how to effectively protect and prevent their information from falling into the wrong hands. 4 researchers from the University of Antwerp and Ghent University, both located in Belgium, found that increasing privacy control leads to more critical processing of targeted advertising. They also found that at the same time, when adolescents perceive a higher privacy control, they evaluate a targeted ad as more effective, convincing, and reliable. It would be hard to spread information and enforce privacy practices without a system of doing so. The graphic shows privacy protection examples that schools will teach their children, like checking which apps use your location even while the app is not in use. Schools will need to take time out of the day to devote a lesson to teaching the effects of not properly protecting your privacy and information on social media. Despite this, it would be much more beneficial to implement the system for students who are unaware of third-party sharing, because they would learn to take control of how the information is shared among third parties and ultimately prevent privacy issues. To conclude, Social media companies are financially benefiting from taking their users' information. They are also keeping their users from the truth of what information they take and how they take it for targeted advertising. Being made aware of the different ways that social media and companies attempt to take user private information can lead to a better understanding of the process and the ways in which people can take to prevent their information from being spread without one's knowledge. Any questions?
I do have 2 questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
My first question, was there evidence that you gathered that you didn't use, and then why'd you choose not to use it?
Yes. So when I was doing my research, I found some research that showed that ultimately companies taking users' private information does benefit users in the end because they have their ads that are targeted towards them are more to their taste and likes, but I decided not to use it because I wanted to focus on the relationship that companies have with users and how they're not really truthful about how they take their information, who they share the user's information with. And I just wanted to focus on that part of the relationship between the two instead of how it benefits users.
Okay. And as you went through the whole research process, were there questions that popped up that you didn't think about at the beginning?
I didn't think about, at first, I wasn't really thinking about third-party sharing. I was thinking about privacy issues. And then I started thinking, well, with privacy issues, it's definitely leads to users' information and how it's shared among the company and outsiders. And so I decided to just lean more towards third-party sharing after my research, and third-party sharing is a big issue, and that's what I decided to focus on.
Okay.